Hello everybody, clearing. Okay, this is going to be a pretty beefy masculine reading, meaning I have 5 decks here, 6 decks in front of me. So let's get into it. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through for the collective that joins me here. What are the divine masculines navigating right now? What are they aware of that they are releasing from the past? What is playing out in their material realm at this time? What are the emotions that they are processing as a result of letting go of certain things from the past? And what was that? That was a card. Okay, the Judgment. So they're about to go through this kind of awakening because of the things that are playing out in their lives. Okay, what are the emotions? So it's layers of the onion, but it looks like these masculines are about to have a new level of understanding. What are the workable, manageable things that they can release consciously at this time on their journey of ascension, their self-love journey, their journey to their higher timelines? What would the masculines say? I need more time, fell out on the bottom. I worry about us a lot and you are so very special. I'm going to put those back in. But what would the masculines say to their feminines at this time based on what is going on for them? I just saw you are my everything as well. And finally, let's see what also we can get for advice for the divine feminines. How can the DFs hold space for the masculines at this time as they are preparing for union? Okay, conscious mind, connection to source, higher guidance. What are the masculines letting go of? The Chariot in the reverse or inverse. So they're letting go of needing to pump the brakes. What's playing out in their lives right now? They aren't with the one they love. The divine feminine. What's the emotion with this? Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Yeah, so they want to get past the patterns. They want to be closer to their divine feminine. What are they consciously releasing in their lives? 4 of Pentacles, Lord of earthly power, scarcity, survival instincts, survival mode, second guessing, I heard. What would they say to their feminines about this? Let me hold you. Yeah, they definitely want to get to a place where you can be a priority, feminines. What is the advice for the DFs here? Angelic assistance, truth, salvation, majesty, temple of celestial revelations. I'm hearing, ask the angels, ask the divine to show you what's possible, to show you a vision for your connection that can inspire you. Don't sell yourself short with being pessimistic or fearful about your connection. Actually pray to be shown the truth of what's possible with the two of you so that you can anchor your balance on it, feminines. What can we see for the masculines, what they are letting go of regarding their intuition? Death. Okay, so they're letting go of the old ways. What's happening in their physical world? Yeah, they're seeing that the things they used to think mattered fall short of what would really make them happy. So for many of them, they have gotten what they have set their mind to, but they don't have love. They don't have true love. What can we see for the emotion connected with this? Wow, the death. So they're continuing the evolution. They're continuing the death rebirth cycle. They're going deeper. They're going beyond their previous vision of life. Pardon me, sometimes sneezing I feel is like an instantaneous clearing. So these masculines, some of them may be feeling under the weather, because I wasn't feeling badly when I started channeling this, and then all of a sudden I just felt the energy of head colds. So some of them, this is the third eye, so some of them may have head colds right now, clearing their third eye. Or, you know, sometimes when we have something like that, we're forced to take some time out and be in our own energy. That's not by chance. So there's something about, I heard man cold and mansplaining. Take gender how it resonates, but I just, you know, I feel like if they do have a head cold right now, they are really kind of rethinking some things because they've got some time to wallow, I just heard. Okay, so that's not going to resonate with everyone, but let's see, what are the things they're letting go of consciously? Lord of loss and pleasure. Yeah, they don't want life to pass them by anymore. What would they say to their feminine about this? Maybe. So I heard maybe it's becoming time. So the old lives are really lackluster. Maybe the coast is clear. Maybe we can spend some more time together. Maybe we can start this. There's some hesitancy for the masculines. For some reason here, they don't feel completely at liberty to kick this off, but they are very much seeing what they don't want to hang on to. What is the advice for the feminines? Duality, contrast, trust, balance. So we got truth, trust. Stay in your own balance here, feminines. And just understand that the masculines are at that fulcrum point between the old and the new, and that they are looking at the contrasts on a new level right now. And this can't be, you know, about you or not. It has to be about what they want compared to what they thought they wanted before for themselves. Not a person, place, or things, but just their inner dialogue with self, the way they're choosing to look at their reality, primarily through the lens of love, not fear, through the possible, not the limitation. So it's not so much about the external circumstances, people, places, and things. It's their inner alignment right now that they are sifting intuitively. What's going on the throat chakra that they are releasing? This is the Eight of Wands, which is a telepathic energetic. So if things don't jive with them, if they're not an energetic fit, if they rub them the wrong way, if they don't feel an affinity, they're letting go of those things. They're cutting their losses. They're fading into the background, fading to black, I heard. So they're just letting certain energies wean themselves out by not acknowledging them. You could say they're sort of ghosting, but it's more of a neutral energy, because ghosting can be abrupt and it can be harsh, like stonewalling or silent treatment can be some of the most aggressive acting out that people can do. But I'm getting this is a disinterest that is just gradually phasing out. So it's different than that, although I'm not ruling it completely out. It feels like they are not telling certain individuals that they're going to be gone for good. They aren't worth my time, I just heard. So that can be downsizing their social media contacts. It feels like they're going off the radar from a whole group of people right now and switching over to more substance. What can we see for what's happening in their real life. So we got the Queen of Wands now in the inverse. We had Queen of Pentacles, which is the life partner, wifey card. Then we've got the Queen of Wands, which is the spiritually realized, divine, feminine, empowered, tantric, sacred, sensual, feminine, also in the inverse. So they don't have a physical companion that can match them energetically, a sacred partner. With this Eight of Wands, I'm hearing dime a dozen, but they don't have their Cleopatra, I just heard. So there's something ancient, possibly past lives. Egypt might be a sink. But there are things going on for the masculines where they're realizing that the feminines are not interchangeable energetically. Pretty faces, yeah. The divine essence, not so much. So they've been looking at options in their reality to see if they could pinpoint that soul molecule, the soul stuff, the sacred. Not necessarily found in a person, but what they're looking at their history and their interactions. The throat chakra can be the truth or the facade, and coming into the discernment that allows for clarity with what is quality and what is cheap. And so it feels like these masculines are seeing that none compare to the divine feminine. In all fairness, they don't even know what it is about you, divine feminine, truly yet, because they've stepped back. But they do sense there is an eternal potential with you. And they don't sense that same spark of aliveness in the more physical based, material realm based interactions that they've had with people who are spiritually underdeveloped. I'm hearing they might be funny, they might have good style, they might be attractive physically, but they're not quality, wholesome, righteous. These masculines are starting to understand how important that really is. Not all that glitters is gold. What is the emotion? Judgment in the inverse. I understand that everyone has their unique path and challenges. These masculines are not wanting to continue to bring in challenge. There's got to be a better way. I'm hearing something about let's bring it back from the caveman era and get on with a more sentient love. So these masculines are starting to crave spiritual connection. I'm hearing that goes beyond feelings. That good stuff, the soul stuff. What can we see for what they're letting go of? Ooh, the Queen of Wands in the inverse again. So they're letting go of these underdeveloped spiritually underdeveloped playmates. What would they say to the feminines? Wow, strength, ego. So they're seeing how those other choices were stroking their ego, but hollow. And now they're seeing how true spiritual strength overcomes the illusion, the devil energies. This is like the Beauty and the Beast card, often with the Empress taming the lion. So they know that their heart is being calmed by this love. What is the advice for the feminines? Universal attunement, repatterning, and guidance. So go back to your happy place, to the open wonder, to your connection to source, to the higher love. Saturate yourself in that ideal, feminines. So with or without your masculine, look at the unconditional, grace and love that your person is going through a up-leveling. Ask for angelic protection, assistance, for the truth to be shown, but come back into the remembrance or the meditation on what the ideal, righteous, true love is. That's going to be gifted to each of us independently, differently, and it's through our free will to lean into it and to consciously evoke, asking, what is that? What is love? Firsthand. What can we see for the heart space? What are these masculines releasing? Oh, we have the strength here. So we kind of have the ancestors sitting on this lion's roar. I'm hearing ancestral rite of passage, generational rite of passage. So I'm getting that this roar could be the rebellion of immaturity, of youth. And now the ancestors are here to pass the torch of mastery, of awareness to these masculines. They're seeing how not only have they been a little bit trigger happy, knee-jerk reaction in relationships, but also with making assumptions with their own parents, grandparents, their family histories. There's something that the masculines are being humbled regarding the life circumstances of their family tree. Something's clicking and making sense a different way. What can we see for what's playing out in their physical? Yeah, unconditional love. So they're having more compassion. They're seeing through a lot of different illusions and stories and opinions and perspectives, and they're dropping into their heart more and more because they can't make sense of so many other people's take on things. And so they're letting the past be in the past and forgiving. There's a great sense of forgiveness here on the heart space. They don't want to carry that stuff anymore. It's not theirs. Sometimes when children act out, they're like a squeaky wheel and they don't even know why they're acting out. They're just vibing off of the imbalances and then having a temper tantrum or, getting frustrated and can't put it in words. And these masculines are seeing how a lot of their rebellion was just that, trying to break free from certain things. And now that they have come into maturity, maturing, they realize that a lot of the things they used to be on the warpath about aren't even theirs. And why are they doing it? Interesting. I also just heard hallucinogenic. So some of these masculines may have been medicating that way, and I'm not condoning that. I just got that though. What can we see for the emotion? Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Yeah, these masculines are starting to really question why they behave the way they do, and is it necessary, true, and kind? What are they releasing? Wow, the blasted tower. Yeah, they're having a major revelation internally that they don't have to be reactive. What would they say to the feminines? Ace of Wands. Yeah, they want to step onto their purpose. This is the most phallic card in the deck too. So this is a passionate new beginning. They want to channel their passion appropriately. They want to make love, not war. What is the advice for the feminines? Temple of the Moon Goddess, emotional transparency, nurturance, and grace. Yeah, so feminines, be in that nurture. Know what your triggers are. The more you understand what your reactions and triggers are and why you are being tempted to be unbalanced, the more you can bring it back to center and hold that grace and just allow yours to be yours and everyone else's to be everyone else's responses. What is that? Other people's opinions are none of your business. Keep bringing it back to your God's honest truth, feminines, so that you can continue staying in that magnetic high priestess energy as your masculine emotionally calibrates to come back into peace and align to get to the good part together. What can we see on the solar plexus chakra? What are the masculines releasing? Okay, the Magician. So this is true empowerment coming in, where they're no longer bogged down by the disintegration. They are actively looking for appropriate outlets for their creative energy. What's happening in their physical? Yeah, they're no longer misusing their wand with those underdeveloped spiritual energies. I just heard their energetic hygiene game is on point. So feminines, over the holidays, your masculines have possibly said no to hookups and other kind of hollow pursuits like that. And this has been necessary because they can't come into a monogamous connection and still have a wandering eye. So they've had to understand the difference between energetically bankrupt encounters, intimate encounters, and those of substance. And in many cases, they don't feel they've even done this connection justice like they could going forward once they hone this masterful balance. What is the emotion they're experiencing? Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. So there's something about the ego with the strength card twice. The masculines are putting down that machismo, like feeling like they aren't cool enough, attractive enough, young enough, smart enough, wealthy enough, established enough. All of that, they are not looking for cheap thrills, instant gratification. The courage here is to disappear and reinvent themselves and to keep pushing through those glass ceilings. What are they releasing? Nine of Swords, Lord of Despair and Cruelty. So it hasn't been serving anyone, not themselves, not other people that weren't on their same potential level. You know, when they've settled or caused others to settle, it's just this spinning wheels, that Chariot in the inverse. There's been a lot of wheels spinning. And so they're releasing those charades I just heard. What is the advice for the, what would they say to the feminines? I need time for me. Yeah. So instead of just, filling the void, people, places, things, these masculines are now actually taking solitude and not condemning themselves for it. I just heard monkdom. So some of these masculines in past lives were holy people that never had interactions in a romantic sense in some of their lifetimes. That's interesting. So they got it out of their system. Some of them got it out of their system in this lifetime or felt like they needed to. That's in many regards. But now they're realizing they need time for them. And I'm feeling this is also in sacred meditation and prayer, but that they don't want to fill the void anymore. Advice for the feminines: spectrum generator, reprogramming, transmutation, stabilization. There is a lot of code rewriting right now, feminines, for you, for the masculines. And so things are just stabilizing right now. So sometimes that can take a little bit of time with no changes on the surface. Pay attention to the aha moments you're having, because there is a lot more going on under the surface with you and with your masculine than it might look like on the surface. What can we see on the sacral chakra that they're letting go of? The Empress. This is the abundance card in the inverse. Those false, again, those showy, boastful, cool guy, flex kind of things that people do when they're trying to fill the void. Yeah, they're done with flexing. Interesting. They want to buckle down and actually attain abundance. They don't want to just look the part anymore. What is happening in their material realm? They're looking at what they really want, not what they think others would think they were cool for having. What's the emotion connected with this? Blame in the inverse. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yeah, they're looking at their own well-being. I'm getting the distinct feeling here that the people they were trying to impress or look like they were all that with, they realized that they were giving their power away to these other individuals and missing out on what really feels good and pleasurable and attractive to them, trying to look the part. And now on the sacral chakra, they're realizing those things weren't deeply fulfilling. So they're really tuning into their own sensitivities now and paying attention like never before. They're being more calibrated to what actually feels truly good to them and not the expected things. What is, oh, awesome. We get the Chariot in the upright, Lord of the triumph of light. Yeah, so righteous, wholesome, peaceful, aligned, pleasure. They don't want the plastic fakery anymore. Temporary, showboating. What would they say to the feminines? I sometimes wonder if you care. Wow, this is in the inverse. So this is telling me that in the past, feminines, you might not even notice how harsh or how legitimate it may have felt at certain times when you've not been drawn to your masculine. The times that you might be oblivious to in part, where they would have felt rejected by you. This is interesting because sometimes they thought you didn't care when you weren't having it. And it's not that you didn't care, it's that you care so much. And that part of how we are shaped in this journey is when our counterparts are either drawn to us or repelled. And so now they're realizing that it wasn't that you didn't care. It was that you were not a fit because they were not in a high enough frequency. They are learning that their true attractive energy is of righteous soul energy, not what things look like on the surface. The game, the player energies, the masks. So now they know that you care more than anybody ever has because you haven't played the game with them like that. What is the advice? Prism of existence, separation, extension, independence, identity. That is one of my divine counterparts, the sovereign or the union space and the sovereignty. So each holding their own, but it's a teamwork. Everybody's sharing these collaborations of growth, but we all have to hold our own. So remembering that as it comes into a balance, it's a bit of tough love, feminines, to have healthy standards. When you come into union readiness, your standards have never been more on point. What can we see on the root chakra? Three of Wands. These masculines are ready, willing, and able to see where things are going to start to go once they very much seal the past in the past. What's happening in their material realm? Strength card for the third time. They are really overcoming the devil energies in all walks of their life right now. What is the emotion? Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. They're saying goodbye to unrighteousness, to unwholesome energy, to fake, to all the things that love isn't. They're cutting it out. King of Wands. Exactly. So they're embodying this high-level spiritual temple energy so that they can be a match for a true tantric, spiritual, attractive soul like their divine feminine. What would they say? What do you want? Okay, so they want to collaborate. They want to know what you want. I heard the sky's the limit. I trust you. Oh, what can we see for... Oh, I just heard I didn't before. Please forgive me. I'm learning you are the best thing that's ever happened to me. Oh, masculines. Okay, spiritual strength. Again, virtue and valor. So we can't have true love if we don't have two righteous, spiritually strong counterparts. And this is the path of that becoming. I just heard, let's get a card for encouragement for the divine feminines. What can we see? That one. Freedom. Fell right on the freedom card for the masculines. Okay, so I mean, it is a tandem process, and this is a 25 card. 2025, anyone? The year of freedom. Living the life you love. Liberation as a shift in perspective. The many facets of freedom. Inviting enjoyment and inspiration into your life. Discovering what freedom means to you, overcoming limitation, unbound creative expression, choice over obligation. So feminines, you may have just come into some new kind of freedom, and now you're being asked by the universe, by your own higher self and your masculine, what do you now want that you've come into freedom? What are you ready to live? Okay, so many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.